You're watching Book TV on C-SPAN 2, and we want to introduce you to Erin Jackman. She is the Executive Director of the Brooke Jackman Foundation. Erin, who was Brooke Jackman?
Brooke Jackman is my sister. She was killed September 11th in the World Trade Center.
And who was she working for at the time?
Brooke worked for Cantor Fitzgerald on the 104th floor in the North Tower.
And what is the Brooke Jackman Foundation?
My family and I started the foundation after September 11th because my sister wanted to become a social worker. She loved to read and she wanted to help children, and that's all we knew. So we decided the foundation should truly embody her spirit, and that's how it was born.
And in fact, in a recent New York Times article about your family, it said that Brooke was never without a book.
That is true. From the time she learned to read in the first grade, she went everywhere with her books. As a little child, my brother and I were actually kind of worried that she would be this bookworm with no friends because she always had her books. Turned out we didn't have to worry.
And in fact, the article in the New York Times went on to say that she made one of the final phone calls out of the North Tower. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what was that?
It was she called my mother. She called my parents' house. So the first call she called was on the machine. She was scared and she was worried, and she was saying the location where she was and to send help, and that she loved us. And then she tried one other phone call to reach my mother, but it didn't get to my mother.
So in her memory, what is the foundation doing?
We are creating and supporting literacy programs for children in need throughout the New York area. So we have Brooke Jackman Family Literacy, where we have programs that teach families how to help their children with reading. That was born because after meeting with some of the families for the children we helped in the children's literacy after school programs, they told me they wanted to help their children, they just didn't know how. So Brooke Jackman Family Literacy was born. We created a workshop series where families got together with their children and learned how to help them. Basic reading activities, literacy activities that they could learn in the workshop and then take home and practice.
What kind of children's books have you distributed?
We have distributed so many children's books. Actually, we just formed the new advisory committee that helps with the book selection. Our advisory committee looks through and helps with the choosing of the books to be distributed. And now we're creating lists under different topics, best of, that will soon be launched.
Now, Erin, how old were you when you became executive director of this foundation, and what have you learned since that time?
I've learned a lot. I became executive director 5 years ago. I became executive director 4 years ago. I was 34. And prior to that, nobody had that job. My family and our board ran the foundation, but it continued to grow and grow. It became so big, I decided to step in and do it on the day-to-day basis, which means I go to our programs, I see that they're being done right, I see if there's new programs, I'm always on the lookout for where else we can do good, how to expand, to see what's working, to make sure it's all being done the right way.
How is this foundation funded?
Through individual donors, corporations. We have 2 major fundraisers each year. Every October, we have our cocktail benefit with a silent and live auction. This year, it's October 21st at the New York Palace Hotel. We raise most of our funds that night each year for all of our programs each year. We also have a race a 5K Brooke Jackman Race for Literacy every May, and that also raises funds for us as well. That's in Oyster Bay, where we're from.
Now, I understand that Alec Baldwin recently joined your board. How did he find out, or what's your connection with him?
He read to one of our children's programs a few years ago, and he stayed in touch. He became a friend to the foundation. We're lucky to have him on that advisory board.
What are Brook Packs?
Brook Packs are backpacks that are filled with school supplies and books. We give them out every September to children for the start of school. Our first year, we gave out 100 Brook Packs. This year, we gave out 3,700 Brook Packs. The name Brook Pack is because my sister used to walk around and she always had her backpack on. She always had a book or two in there and her water bottle as she walked around the city. So we knew it had to be called the Brook Pack.
What have you become a bookworm since starting in this position?
That's a good question. I always liked to read. I just never read as much or as wide a variety of books as my sister. She always tried to widen my horizons, though. And I think now, in her memory, I do my best. I actually, every time I'm in a bookstore, I always think what she would choose for me, the way she used to. So I am a bookworm of sorts.
What was the event you held on September 7th?
September 7th was our first annual readathon. It was down at the World Financial Center, and it was a way for us to honor my sister down near Ground Zero, where New Yorkers came together with my family to do some good for the children we serve in the Brooke Jackman literacy programs. We had tons of people come read to the children. We had tons of children from the different programs sitting in the audience. It was really a great day. It was such a success. So proud.
Erin Jackman, are other family members involved in the foundation?
All of our family members are involved in some way. My parents and my brother and I could never have started this without the support of our entire family. Aunts, cousins, friends, and now all the new family on our board. We're very lucky to have so much help.
Is September 11th, 9 years later, a tough day for you?
It's always a tough day. It always brings that day back. The day my brother and I and my father walked around downtown searching for her. We walked from hospital to hospital. It brings that back. It's always a tough day. Doesn't matter how many years pass.
Now, in the New York Times article, it was reported that, again, this was Brooke made one of the last calls out of the North Tower, and that your family was considering donating the tape. You still have the tape of the phone call, donating that to a 9/11 museum. Is that still your plan?
Yes, I gave the tape to the museum people. It will be on the exhibit whenever that opens.
And so that others can listen to it?
Yes, it will be the first time we've let anyone else listen to it. We never let anyone prior. It's very, very painful.
Sure.
But we do feel that the world should know. They should hear.
So
Could you hear her voice set against the horror that the rest of us have heard now?
So Erin Jackman, in order to keep her memory alive, you've created the Brooke Jackman Foundation. How many children's books do you think you've distributed in the 9 years it's been around?
At least 100,000 children's books. It could be more. We have we have 5 Brooke Jackman libraries, so that's a lot of books right there. There's 5 to 6 new children's books in every Brook Pack we distribute. And we have the Brooks Books Initiative, which was started as a way to give every child in every one of our programs a present in honor of my sister's birthday each year. And that is the gift of a new book. And that's nearly 10,000 children each year. So tons and tons of books.
Where are the Brooke Jackman libraries located?
Here in New York. They're located, one is at PS 111 in Manhattan, where I used to teach and my sister used to come volunteer in my classroom. There's one at the Lower East Side Girls Club. There's 3 in the Brooklyn Federal Justice Center for children who are victims of domestic violence and Children Against Crimes Division, and 1 for the young adults. So that's 3.
Erin Jackman, if people are interested in learning about the foundation or donating to the foundation, where can they go?
The website is brookjackmanfoundation.org.
And that's Brooke with an E, correct?
Brooke with an E, jackmanfoundation.org.
We've been speaking with Erin Jackman, who is the executive director of the Brooke Jackman Foundation, which donates books to children and to literacy programs. Erin, thanks for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.